Hi, my name is Tia Capron, and for my presentation today, I'm going to be recreating the girl with a pearl earring using the use of textiles. Um, to start, the girl with the pearl earring was painted by Johannes Vermeer in 1665. It is oil on canvas and is currently located in Amsterdam. I'm sorry, I'm not going to try and pronounce the museum name. This painting emerged during the Baroque era, and we can tell that through the contrast between the background and the subject, and the use of light and shadows, and how the subject is kind of caught in the motion. She's looking over her shoulder, glaring at us, and it's not really posed. You can tell her mouth is kind of gaped, and it's very caught in the moment. It's very subtle, but still caught in the moment. So, to recreate this image, first, we had to gather all of our clothes, quite literally our entire closet. And I also got my friend to help me out with this, and so we brought 2 big suitcases just full of our entire closet. And then the next process was to block out the face and body. That was kind of my job. I just had to make sure that all the proportions were right, and like the shape of the face matched the shape of the body. And then my friend went in and started to add the features. This is like the nose and the eyes, the lips, the mouth, some of the shadowing, like the contours. And then we kind of continued on just adding on more features. Now we're focusing on kind of this head scarf wrap that the lady has on. One thing that I was really proud of during this was that we really caught on to the shading. And as you can tell, we have kind of zoomed in photos of the painting kind of as a reference as we're working along with this, just to make sure that we get the shading as close as we can, as accurate as we can, sorry, and just making sure we get all the colors right. As you can see, we're throwing in some yellows and blues, just like how the image has. As we move towards the end and we kind of have the whole thing laid out, we're just focusing on touch-ups. So here I was going back in with the photos zoomed in, making sure everything laid correctly, and then towards the very end of it, I was standing on a platform while my friend was making touch-ups, and I would tell her what needed to be fixed and what needed to be just kind of adjusted so it all looked good from a higher up angle. Again, we were working kind of parallel to it, so we had to see what it looked like from above. Yeah. And then this was our final image. It's not perfect, but I do think that we did a really good job about trying to make sure all the shadows and the proportions were as best as we possibly could. Again, we had to work with what we had, so some of the shadows might be a lot darker than what they really look like on the photo itself. As you can tell, like the shadow for her cheek, where there's that shadow right there, it's a lot darker on our version, but again, that's all we really had. But you can also see us like throwing that in with the nose contour, very subtle, very tiny, but it's still there just to kind of make some dimension to the face. I was actually really proud of the amount of color that we used for the body. When you look at the image, like the original image, you can call that brown, but really there's different greens and chestnuts and all that thrown in there, and so we try to throw a good variety of colors, trying to recreate it as best we can on our image. So again, you can see the greens, you can see the browns and all that. Even in the head wrap, you can see that it's yellow and there's some blue coming up the sides, and so we try to throw in some of the blue there. One thing that I kind of liked was in the head wrap, the blue part of it, you can see that there's some shading there, and that's something we try to incorporate. Towards the top, the shades are a lot lighter, while as you move down to where her ear is, it does get darker, and so we try to do that and recreate it with the clothing that we had, starting from lighter blues, moving down to darker blues. Another small detail that I thought was kind of cool that we caught was originally her ear was a lot brighter color, but in the image, it kind of all blends into her cheek. And we didn't have another dark brown to throw in there, so I just switched out for like a tan color sock, and I think that does a lot better job for her ear. And then I do wish we had something that better recreated her earring, but we just bundled up a sock and called it a day. But yeah, this was our final image, and I'm very proud of it. Thank you.